What? No.
Popular social media influencer Sneako was approached by some of his oldest fans, 12 and 13-year-old boys, during a recent public appearance, and was surprised to find out, or at least acted surprised to find out, that they are as terrible as he is. So in this video, I will show you that clip. I will get to why this matters. I will discuss more about who Sneako is in case you have no idea. I'll also get to some reactions online, and I'll get to how Sneako has responded to this video going viral. So first, here's the clip.
What'd you take?
Fuck
the woman. Fuck the woman.
What? No, wait. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Yeah, merch. Preach.
Wait,
All right. What have I done?
All right. I'm not sure whether or not to call these kids his fans or his victims, because he has clearly groomed these children to act this way. Some quotes there. The first thing that the kid says is Andrew Tate. I'll get to why that's relevant in a second here. But then F the women. And then Sneako's like, no, we love women. And the kid's like, but not transgenders. And then they chant all gays should die. Before I get to more here and some reactions and his reaction to seeing this go viral, the attempt at a defense here, and I'm not defending him, but this is what some people are doing to try and defend him, is that, oh, when I was a kid, I said crazy stuff too. And, you know, I believed crazy stuff. I said crazy things and I grew out of it. Here's the difference. Did you have a multi-millionaire YouTuber, a famous person who was saying these things, platforming this kind of hate as someone to look up to think, hey, I could be like them? It was much different. These are the incentives that people like Sneako are laying forward now. And it's aided by things like the YouTube algorithm, which for years has propped up more and more extreme behavior. Now, Sneako last year was thankfully banned off YouTube after a lot of this, after he really dove into the hate. But for years, this is the kind of stuff that YouTube pushed out, and they made him famous before he left. And now he has his stuff, you know, on a different platform. But he also, like, in that video, Sneako acts surprised. You know, he says, this is an exact quote. He says, "What have I done?" Now, you could take that two ways. One, he is genuinely surprised. And if that's the case, then I think we would expect him to come out to apologize and rebrand, change his entire behavior, become someone who can actually be a good role model for young minds. Or he really isn't surprised. He knows it's the kind of stuff he puts out. What else can he possibly expect his fans to be repeating? So he's not surprised, but he knows how bad this looks. So he acts surprised. Oh, what have I done? Because if he thought this looked good, he would embrace it. He wouldn't be trying to deny it. He wouldn't be surprised. He would be embracing what they're saying, because this is the stuff that he preaches. Let me get to, I guess maybe I should have started with this, but who Sneako is, or at least some more of his background. So he is one of the students of Andrew Tate, who, Andrew Tate, of course, was charged with human trafficking earlier this year. And again, another massive social media influencer. I mean, I shouldn't have to describe who Andrew Tate is, but if you need a better description, just look him up. You'll find a lot. But more on how Sneako was influenced by him. So the 36-year-old, speaking of Andrew Tate, his ideologies have spread far and wide, and unfortunately have spawned a myriad of copycat influencers who simply regurgitate Tate's opinions word for word, and sometimes somehow take it even further. Take Sneako, for example, a once revered 24-year-old YouTuber whose earlier artistic, introspective, and thought-provoking content earned him over 1 million subscribers on the platform. But after the rise of Tate, Sneako's content shifted dramatically, and much like the infamous influencer, he realized that misogyny and hate would drive more and more traffic to his live streams. Those streams, which picked up millions of views throughout 2022, saw Sneako go off on hateful, misogynistic, and even racist tirades, which included disgracefully simulating sexual assault against fellow YouTuber Chad after she labeled him an incel for his derogatory content. So here's somebody who saw that, hey, I could become even more famous, make even more money by being a terrible person, just like Andrew Tate. And this is the kind of influence he has. I joked earlier about these being his oldest fans, 12 and 13-year-olds, but this is who their audiences are, young boys. And it's at this point, because this is sort of a more recent thing, at least over the past maybe 5+ years, it's hard to know the influence people like this will have going into the future, if these kids will grow out of it, or if we are building a society that is going to become even worse because of individuals like this. And I want to be clear, not just because of them, because of the incentives that exist for people like this to exist, for the algorithms to platform individuals like this. Let me get to some reactions online before I get to somebody who changed their ways, was similar to Sneako, and did a complete rebrand. And then I'll get to Sneako's reaction to this video. But here's some reactions off Twitter. From Nikki, these kids can't be older than middle school. I don't even want to begin to imagine the way they'll treat their classmates, peers, future partners. And if the role models they're shouting out have taught them anything, is that any sort of consequences make them the victims. Ben Dixon here writing, a generation raised by right-wing social media algorithms and no meaningful contact with young women is becoming sentient at the same time. Future fascist foot soldiers. Humza writing here, fresh and fit, Sneako, Andrew Tate. These guys have all built a career off misogyny. They won't be the last to do it if these kids are any sign of the future. Matt writing, hate is learned and conservatives are teaching it to children. This is what real grooming looks like. And that's really important to point out here. You have people like Sneako claiming that, as we'll get to, a rainbow flag in the classroom is grooming children, when it's just love and acceptance. Somehow love and acceptance is grooming children, when clearly, in terms of who's having a negative impact on the world, how could you possibly argue that Sneako is not grooming children? He clearly is. We just saw the result of it. And this is just, one interaction here. Think of the millions of viewers that watch him. Darian writing, speaking as a kid who did not have much regulation on what I saw on the internet during the early 2000s, parents 100% need to be overlords when it comes to what their children are viewing, because this is what you get when you let them run wild without restrictions or guidance. So this is a tough one. Because, kids this age, you can't control everything they're going to see. They're going to be at friends' houses. They may have phones. Like, I definitely agree with the guidance, but you can't be helicopter parents, and they have to be able to grow and be their own individuals, right? So there are limitations in terms of what parents can do. But that doesn't absolve the parents. Of course, parents should be involved. They should understand. They should know who their kids look up to, what shows they watch, or what videos they watch, what influencers influence them. So that should definitely be a part of it, and guidance, of course, on all of that. But in terms of restricting children, I just, once kids get like 13, 14, you can't really restrict what they're watching. They're going to find it either way. And if you try to restrict it, they're going to want to see it even more. So it's more about guidance, I think, than trying to restrict or, be a helicopter parent. Scorpio here. Writing, this reminds me when iDubbbz met his fans and he found out they were all raging racist incels. This gets to iDubbbz. This is the YouTuber who had a shift recently. So this is back in May. iDubbbz apologizes for racist comments, hateful culture he created. So he had years of hateful YouTube content because he described it as being very easy clickbait for him, and he wasn't confident in his own abilities. So it was a quick and easy way to get some views and make money. And he eventually saw some results of that out in the real world and realized his actual impact on society and changed his ways and apologized. So more on that here. He cultivated a culture of apathy. So this is in his apology video. He cultivated a culture of apathy and cruelty as well, although he convinced himself he was doing it for the right reasons. According to iDubbbz's apology, he wasn't confident in his ability to entertain, but the videos were successful. He also excused himself by saying he wasn't responsible for how his audience reacted. But in this apology, he takes full responsibility for how his audience acted. It isn't right to act as he was. So this is the lie he was telling himself, as we'll get to with Sneako in a second here. That, he excused it because he's not responsible for how the audience reacted. You know, that's just, boys will be boys. But then he realized, no, clearly he's not having a positive impact on people with the kind of hateful content he was putting out. So you can't deny when you meet your own fans and you see your own fans out in public and how they treat other people, you can't deny that kind of impact that you're having. But so iDubbbz eventually apologized, and good on him for doing so. Sneako apparently is not ready to do that. So his reaction to seeing this video go viral writes here, they are children and obviously joking. This is how I was at 12. Again, I go back to, did you have famous multi-millionaire YouTubers to look up to think, hey, I can continue being this way and make some money off of it? No, it's a different situation now. And right now you are one of those people for those kids. But if it sounds egregious to you, blame the rainbow flags in their classrooms. Blame the media for emasculating men. It's your fault for forcing an obvious agenda, not these kids. Boys will be boys. Look at the the denial. The denial in this tweet is just hitting you in the face. Rainbow flags, which are about love and acceptance, accepting those for who they are, accepting people for who they are. How, I don't know what this has anything to do with anything. Blame the media for emasculating men. What are you talking about? Clearly, your impact on these kids is very hateful. These are hateful children now. And you can't accept that. Being a hateful person being a hateful man does not make you masculine. It makes you a piece of shit. So I don't know what this media emasculating men for what, being more open with who we are and loving and accepting and not denying those for how they identify or who, I don't even know. Again, there's no specifics here because he can't be specific because none of this makes any sense. Boys will be boys, of course. Again, just there's no willingness to understand his impact. I don't know. It's very tough to change. Once someone like this gets a taste of fame, gets a taste of the money, and has done it by being the kind of garbage human they are, they can change, but are they going to keep that audience? Are they going to be as popular as they once were? It's very unlikely because this is how they gain popularity. They don't know how to be any other way. So all we can do as anyone else in this space is call it out. Call it out for what it is and hope that the incentives change. Because right now, I wrote this on Twitter. We are long past due for an expose on the YouTube algorithm and the people behind it and why it is the way it is and the incentives that have been pushed for years. There needs to be some accountability there because that, out of anything, I would say that is very likely the number one reason why we have seen the rise in hate that we have seen over the past several years.